What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Tide Talk. It's Thursday, September 11th, and we're here to discuss last night's penalty shootout loss to Sacramento Republic in the USL Jaegermeister Cup semifinal. Just a reminder that each episode of Tide Talk is available on YouTube, and if you're watching now, please take a second to subscribe to our channel and hit that thumbs up button as it helps YouTube show Tide Talk to more people. You can also find us on your favorite podcast applications like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you're listening there, we'd really appreciate it if you have to say 5-star rating and a short review, as it helps more people find our podcast. One last plug, if you're not already using the RIFC Club Collector app, sign up and enter code TIDETALK25 to get an exclusive pack to add to your collection. There may or may not be a code that's live for about 12 more hours that was in the live show with that we did with Raising Anchor last night by Motor. So check that out on the YouTube and you can get a couple more packs there. But everybody, let's cozy up. Let's crack a beer. Let's dive into this one. We'd love to know what that is, Andrew. I'm Ryan, and I'll be your... What was that?
So I got some Vini beer tonight.
But I'm Ryan, and I will be your host tonight. And I'm joined by, first off, Mr. Andrew Quadros, fellow Tide Talk. Andrew, how we doing?
Shitty. Yeah, just shitty.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And we are joined by special guest tonight, Irvin Vargas, El Presidente of Defiant 1636. Irvin, how we doing?
What he said, shitty.
Yeah.
Just still just processing.
Yeah, I mean, did anyone have anything fun happen today that they want to talk about before we start this one? You know, we've been waffling a bit before these losses as of late.
I mean, I've been thankfully busy with work to kind of take your mind off of it, but I don't know, with every loss you have ups and downs, or your emotions kind of change throughout the course of the day. So luckily I didn't have to think about it too much. But yeah, there's definitely been a range of feelings since last night, but got to keep busy with work at least.
There we go. I know Urban was doing some therapy with Counter-Strike ahead of this one.
Yeah, I was so I've been playing a lot more Counter-Strike than I like to admit. Definitely getting back into the game, but yeah, it's thankfully work got me a little off the topic of things, But yeah, I mean, glad I'm here to talk about it some more.
Well, let's say you asked it. You were like,
yeah. Oh no, I definitely want to be here. I have some stuff to get off my chest, but I'm just saying, let's get this boat running.
Let's do it. So we can start with probably my highlight of the night. So the lead up to the match here, we'll start. Oh, a subscription to start. Let's go. This is a big night for us. But yeah, the lead up to the match. So for those of you who are unaware, we did a live show at the Defiant 1636 pregame party at High Motor. We did that in collaboration with Raising Anchor. First time we've truly combined forces for an episode. Thought it went really well. Had a lot of fun. We had some trivia winners. Shout out to Archie for winning the gift card. We had a lot of just interactive moments, fun times. Got to talk about player of the season. But yeah, really appreciate anyone who came out. If you did want to check that out, it is on our YouTube channel, Tide Talk RI, if you want to check it out. But yeah, really appreciated that. Shout out to Raising Anchor for coming on and joining forces there. But yeah, how was High Motor for you guys before we get into the March and then into maybe the sadder parts of this evening?
Well, everyone almost ran me over walking in, so that was cool.
That was the fun part.
Yeah.
That was great. I was like, all right, here we go.
No, but it was fun. It was a good time. It was good to see that full panel there. It's a good setup there at High Motor too, with the sound system they have, that cozy room back there. Had a lot of people, just like last time. So it was a fun spot to be at. Got my couple Guinness pours in. Had some good wings, and you guys did a great job in the show too with the content that you put on and the Raising Anchor guys too. So it was fun time.
Awesome. And Irvin, before I kick it to you, we have some pretty a lot of comments in the chat here asking, are you playing a simulator of any kind right now, particularly convenience store simulator?
So
the people want to know. We
okay, fine. I'll give it to you this. So funny enough, while I was before I got on CS2 today, I was on the Steam store and they offered me a like a demo for I guess Graveyard Simulator, and it's kind of funny. Yeah, it's hilarious. So you literally own a graveyard and you cremate things, and then at
They
night
call that actually
they
being an Indie 11 worker. It's really
right,
weird.
exactly. And then at night, apparently, if they're buried and they're not properly buried, they become zombies, and you have to like shoot them and like protect your like church or whatever. Yeah, these simulator games are going crazy, but I'm
You
excited
obviously
for.
bought it, right?
No, I did not buy it. I did not buy it. I installed the demo. I'll try it out, and if it's interested, it's only $5.99, so I might try it. But I'm excited for NASCAR 25 because it's the indie developers that run iRacing, which is like the #1 simulator in all over the world, is developing this game. So as a NASCAR fan, praise Dale, raise hail. Yeah, let's do it. Get some NASCAR in it.
Wouldn't surprise me if you needed some retail therapy after Saturday, depending on the result, and you might be
Yeah,
cremating people on
pro-
at 12 p.m.
probably.
on 12 o'clock.
Absolutely, absolutely.
God.
Yeah. So that's my streaming news, I guess you could say.
Well, thank you for indulging us. Almost, I think maybe overindulging us in that one. But leading into the match here. So yeah, again, big shout out to everyone who came to High Motor. Big shout out to High Motor for having us. Awesome place, great food, great drinks, and just a great location. But we will get into the lineup here that did break while we were at High Motor. So we had Koke Vegas in net with a back line of Aldair Sanchez, Hugo Bacharach, Grant Stoneman, Karufa Yao, and Clay Holstead at right wingback. You had a midfield of Marky Barra, Amos Shapiro Thompson, Maxi Rodriguez. And up top you had JJ Williams, Maxi Rodriguez. I might have said him already.
I'm busy.
Dwayne Atkinson. Yes, busy. Yeah. Dwayne Atkinson. So any notables here, Andrew?
Yes and no. I mean, we figured Stoneman was going to get back in the lineup at some point, just because he seems to be the class favorite on the Connor roster, and we just didn't know who or when he would be coming in for. A little disappointed to see it because I thought Mabika and Yao and Hugo all deserve to be starters. They've all been, I think, quite good lately, and I thought have cemented their spot, but we figured that this was probably going to come. So Mabika on the bench didn't love. Good to see Frank back. So we didn't know when he would be back, so having him on the bench would be great. Only other surprise for me, very minor, but Ndongo, I didn't think that given he just looked like he was overpowered last week and just physically he wasn't really ready for this level. The fact that he just joined the team and this is a cup semifinal, I didn't think that he would be an option off the bench. I thought, considering how many available players that we have, that there'd be other options that would be made available for this game. So I was a little surprised to see him there. Obviously, he didn't get in the game, but that was the only other thing that stood out to me in the lineup.
Yeah, Irvin, what about you?
No, nothing too out of the ordinary. I'm happy to see Atkinson get on the first. I feel like the more we start using him in the starting lineup, the more he'll get more minutes, and then I just feel like he's just going to be our top guy to put some scores in. Nice to see JJ up in front as well. So those two kind of coinciding with themselves could definitely be an attacking nightmare for most people. But I mean, yesterday, we really didn't see that much. But glad to see Frank back. I always loved Frank Nadarce, so it was awesome to see them. Same thing with that new kid as well, and then Dongo, just to kind of see him on the bench. I mean, I didn't think we were going to use him. Mainly because we were still 0-0 at the second half. So I thought if he was going to come on, it was probably going to be for like the last, maybe the time minutes. So yeah, I mean, I was just not surprising at all with the lineup. It was a very more attacking lineup than most, so I'm happy to see that. At least they tried to go for it, but we're gonna talk more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the one note on Ndongo is that Chico is still out on the injury report, so maybe you kind of just wanted some kind of backup striker person on the bench, an option to go to just in case. There, but yeah, let's move into the first half. I think this one really started out pretty chippy. A lot of fouls both ways. What do you guys think of the kind of consistency of the referee performance, Andrew?
The lack of consistency. It just felt like he was very
up for it, man.
Yeah, I mean, the ref was very quick on the trigger with Rhode Island fouls. Some of them I don't necessarily disagree with, but many of them I just felt like at that stage in the game, they weren't necessarily intentional. It was just a physical match, and he kept taking out the yellow. And then I think I talked to you at halftime. There was one with Amos that he kind of got upset about that I thought he was going to give him a second yellow, or I was talking to Timmy, I think it was at halftime. So it felt like we were on the verge there of receiving a lot of yellows, and I was actually curious if Conde was going to make any moves at halftime, just given how many guys were on the yellows. But on the Sacramento side, like we see all the time, we're seeing similar fouls in similar situations that are not picking up the yellow. So that's really, and I was talking to my dad about it too. I think what's frustrating for the players is that when you see that type of inconsistency early on, it sets a certain expectation, and then at some point in the game, naturally it ends up changing. And then all the stuff that they weren't getting away with, and at one point in the game they are getting away with, and then they're not getting away with it later, or it might flip sides. And that's the biggest issue that we complain about with the officiating across the board, is just be consistent with both teams and throughout the match, and what is deserving of a yellow and what's not. So it just felt like way too many yellows early on. It obviously affected the way that we played. Our defenders were picking it up, our central midfielders were picking it up, and then it was just like it affects just the tenor of the rest of the game and how we want to manage the match.
Yeah, I thought it was odd. I didn't mind any of the fouls individually. What I didn't like was the inconsistency of the yellows, because it felt like I think there was a point where we had 3 fouls and 2 yellows, and it was just like everyone's first offense, you're just going to go right into the book, especially in a game that's going to be a little fiery, right? It's a cup semifinal. Like, people are going to be at it, like, try to control the game, and you don't always have to use yellows to do that. There's warnings, there's other ways to go about it. Also thought he was like weirdly slow to blow the whistle. Like, he would have this like almost like wind up to it, and he would kind of wait, and then he would blow the whistle. And I don't know if he was potentially trying to play someone on, play the game on, but very strange of how long the whistle blow after some of those sequences. But Irvin, what was your take on the refereeing performance?
No, I agree with you guys. I mean, it was very inconsistent. I mean, it seems like every time we play at home, there's always this like referee that just seems like they have some sort of issue with us. And like everything, I mean, I've always been very keen about that like aggressive football. So anytime they try to show any sort of aggression, they got the absolute piss taken out of them. The whistle gets blown, they don't let plays go through, even if it's like minor touches. It's like, ooh, I tripped you by accident, or ooh, I shoved you by accident, just a little bit of contact. It's like he stops the game, and I'm like, what are you doing? Keep the ball rolling. Like, you're ruining the flow of everything. And that goes both ways, but it just seems like we were getting absolutely the piss taken out of us every single time we had shown any sort of aggression. So honestly, it was a terrible officiating, and I hope that goes away. But I know that might be our new I feel like we might have to make a banner
segment on the
for
show,
the referee. Yeah, I feel like we need to make a banner to take the piss out of the referee. I feel like it's us against the refs at this point.
Yeah, I don't necessarily mind. Well, I prefer the ref letting play go on when teams are playing aggressively. I can understand if he's not going to allow that, but you spend the first 15 minutes of the match minimum managing expectations, slowing down the game, telling the players what your expectations are, telling them what's going to warrant a yellow in the future. You don't just automatically just start giving out yellows and start setting an example that way, because then it just puts you on like thin ice, both for the players and also for the ref too, because every decision he makes from that point forward is even more scrutinized, because it's either going to be deserving of a second yellow and you didn't give it, or you're giving someone a yellow on a touchy call. So you manage it early on, you set those expectations, and then that allows the game to flow in the way that the referee wants to. And he didn't do that. Like, there was no talking. He was just giving out yellows.
Yeah, I mean, and to Jason's question here, or not question, but a statement, I don't watch enough for the rest of the league play against each other, but I wonder if they're terrible in those games as well. They are. This is just a standard of officiating this league. Like, while we get frustrated and it's like, why are they doing this to RIFC? I bet you every single other fan base in the USL is saying the exact same thing.
And it's like that in the MLS too. And I think I remember reading a story or hearing a podcast a couple of years ago, and they were saying that the way officiating works in the US, it's like the soccer where there was a pyramid. So you need to have referees that enter in the bottom period and then make their way up. And the issue is nobody wants to be a referee, because assholes like us go on podcasts and rip them every 2 seconds and
in person. Don't you worry about that. Yeah.
So when that happens, there's just fewer people entering the pyramid at the bottom. And if fewer people are entering the pyramid, fewer of them are making it up to the top, or the ones that are making it up to the top aren't the level of quality that you would typically want to see. So a lot of it is just endemic in the entire officiating system in the US. It's not a USL problem. It's not an RFC problem. It's like a US soccer officiating problem that exists.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing that I always try to remember is that these are all, number one, all people, and number two, like, it's a hard job. Like these are like really good athletes going very, very quickly and doing things. And, this league doesn't have the advantage of stuff like VAR to look back on. So I do empathize with them a bit. Someone brought it up on here at some point that, the U.S. Soccer Federation, they have to staff like 40 something refs in the MLS every week with backups there. So we're getting like, not the A team in the USL as well. But listen, like even the Premier League, like people complain about those refs, and those are probably the highest paid refs on planet Earth. So it's always gonna be tough. It is a human job and a human kind of role, and that's actually what kind of makes it a little more interesting, I guess, or it brings that kind of human spirit to the game. But overall, a tougher night for the ref in this one. But I don't think that is what caused RIFC the result here. But with that, I think Irvin or Andrew, I can't remember who said it, but there that kind of early yellows then creates a little bit of timidness from the team that's kind of being cautioned often, which was Rhode Island FC in this one. And I do think for the remainder of that first half, it seemed like Sacramento had a bit more of the big chances. We saw Koke Vegas make a couple big saves. They did have one big chance which they missed. But yeah, Andrew, what was your thoughts on kind of the remainder of that first half?
Very disappointed. It felt the term we've been using a lot, or that I've been using a lot, is more of the same. It feels like every game has been more of the same. And on the whole, at the end of the match, I looked back and said, I don't think that they played poorly. But that first half, I thought that they were very much outgunned. I thought Sacramento did what most teams do with against us, which is they were able to just sit back, let us play with the ball. I don't know if you probably have the stats up, but like what was the first half possession for? It must have been close to, if not past 60%, right?
Oh, don't spoil it for the people.
Right.
We do the halftime stats in a sec.
Point being, it just felt like we held a lot of the ball. But then when you look back at the first half and said, all right, just line up, what are all the dangerous chances that occurred in the game? They were all Sacramento. There was really nothing there. Any shots that we had were very weak shots. We didn't test the goalie. Meanwhile, Koke was being tested time and time again. There was a lot of chaos in front of our box because every time they would just sit back, wait for us to eventually lose the ball, and then they were very good about attacking us and creating havoc right away. And that created opportunities for them to try to score. So that just feels like the way that we've been playing kind of at our worst throughout the season, where we just hold on to the ball, do nothing with it. The other team could just sit back, wait for a mistake, pounce on us. And that's what it felt like in the first half for me.
Yeah, before I kick it to Irvin, Timmy, happy anniversary. I don't know what you're doing here. Please close YouTube and go hang out with your wife. Irvin, what about you, my friend?
I mean, yeah, I feel like the guys did do well. Judging just by looking at the stats, I won't say much because we'll get into it. But I mean, it seems like they did what they are used to doing. They tried to like not hold the ball as much and like really take advantage of when they can get the ball. There were a lot of moments where like, oh, they got it. They're running. And there was a lot of chances that they had where like they kind of made Sacramento rush for them. They really, really rushed for them. If we had some quicker players, I honestly feel like they would have definitely bolted through them and would have gone through. So I mean, not to say that they didn't do well, but like every single game, we cannot find the net. We cannot put it behind the net, or we're kicking it way too soft. We're heading it way too soft to the point where it's just not getting through at all. It's like an easy catch for them. So to me, like the team did what they were supposed to do in a normal game, but this isn't a normal game. This is a cup competition. They knew that they were going to penalties. We'll get into that when we need to, but that's another whole different story. Yeah, we will. And yeah, it's just like they did. If it was a normal game where we needed the points, I feel like this would have been a okay, fair draw. But because it was a cup competition, I feel like it was not enough.
Absolutely. And shout out to Will in the chat. Yanks talking football. Grimace face. Please like and subscribe, my friend. But as we get to the halftime stats here, Andrew, you were pretty right at 54% possession for Rhode Island FC. We had 3 shots to Sacramento 7, 1 shot on target to their 2. We had 0 big chances. They had 1 and missed it. 156 accurate passes to their 123. Our 8 fouls committed to their 11, and our 2 yellow cards to their 0, which is sick. And then 0 corners for Rhode Island FC and 3 for Sacramento. So again, pretty even in terms of the scoreline. The box score and the scoreline, I think 0-0 was fair going into half. I do think Koke had a really good half. He was right in front of us which is always awesome to see in 116. So, I think 0-0 at halftime probably felt okay. If I was Sacramento, I probably would have felt a little bit better going into halftime. But did either of you think there was going to be any changes or adjustments from Kano? Andrew, I'll go to you first here.
No, because they never seem to happen quick enough for me. But in terms of just the tactical piece of this, I didn't think that there'd be any changes yet. But B, I was wondering if with all the yellow cards that we accumulated, that he could make a change, just the way that game was being officiated and the players in particular that were on thin ice tended to be the more aggressive players. I thought maybe he would try to pull the trigger more quickly. But when there were no changes at halftime, I wasn't surprised. Like I figured it was more likely than not that he was not going to be making any changes. But I thought that maybe one of the yellow card players would be off.
Yep. Everyone, what about you?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I mean, I feel like I feel like if it was just to avoid going down to a 10-man, because I mean, it was already looking pretty aggressive already. I mean, that's how I like them to play. So when they do get those early yellow cards, which is why I get pretty pissed when the ref just immediately comes out with the yellow. It's like, all right, well, you're ruining this game by doing that. Like now everybody is going to be playing soft, or you're not going to call the right move, or one of these guys are going to flop and you're going to think it's a proper, it's like, so it just ruins the game.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I honestly thought that they were gonna switch off, but I mean, not surprised that they didn't do, or at least they waited until a certain amount of time. They couldn't afford to take out some of these players out of there anyway, so I knew that they were gonna do what they could.
Yeah, as someone who may have gone over to the tunnel while the ref went in and yelled, "It's not about you." Again, allegedly. I was also worried about these things, but I thought very positively coming out of the half. I really liked the energy that Rhode Island FC brought. I thought our press was significantly better in the second half. We were clearly causing them to adjust and to really kind of play a little bit quicker, and I think that really paid off to our advantage. Andrew, what about you?
I agree. It felt like a tale of two halves for me. I personally think you were being generous in terms of that, fair scoreline first half, Sacramento feeling good. Like I left there thinking Sacramento deserved to be up and we didn't do enough.
I'm always generous to my boys in amber and blue.
Yeah. Apparently I'm not. But the second half, I do think that Rhode Island was the better team. They created a lot more, particularly later in the half. It felt like a more balanced game where they weren't just trying to hog up possession and seeing if they can squeak one through. It felt like there was more drive there. And to your point, more restricting of Sacramento when they did have the ball. Like Sacramento really didn't do much for a good portion of that second half because we limited it. So I thought that we were more in control of that second half, way more than we were in the first half. I think we had control in the first half in terms of the ball, but in terms of like actual dangerous play, we never had control of that. I did feel like that was happening in the second half.
Yeah, Erwin, how do you think about the start of the second half?
Well, like I said, they played a bit more faster. They tried to get that ball as quickly as they could. I mean, they definitely outshot for sure in the second half. So just by looking at the stats, they held the ball less than last time. So I mean, like that was, I guess, in the right direction of what we're used to. I honestly thought that they were going to score in the second half. To be honest, it was either going to be a lucky goal, a lucky header, something. It was going to be a goal, just even if it was like a dirty goal. I didn't even give a damn. They were going to score something, but just not seeing anything. And they I honestly felt like once the minutes were up for the 90 minutes, I was like, oh God, if we can like score one thing here, it's over, and we're all just going to rush the field. But nothing happened. I was like, if it was a few more minutes, I truly felt like we could have maybe scored a lucky goal, but again, it was tricky. So I mean, the second half definitely looked a whole lot better. Sacramento definitely let the ball roll a little harder. They didn't keep it as much, and they let Rhode Island do what they're used to. When they see an open ball, they just run to it and just try to run as fast as they can before tossing it back.
Yeah, I definitely think we were definitely I don't want to say the aggressor. It wasn't like Sacramento wasn't going for it, but I think we got the better of the chances in the second half. We did see some subs here, which I thought there were some interesting ones. So first was a sub of Joe Burrito for Busy Atkinson in the 56th minute. I know some people have put it in the chat. I also know that some people have written the lowest player rating of all time for Busy's performance last night. But Andrew, what did you make for Busy's second start for Rhode Island FC?
I like his energy. I like what he brings. I don't like how he was utilized. And what I felt like was happening too much is that that forward line was really spread out. So I felt like it put JJ on an island, but then more importantly, it felt like it put Busy on an island. And the way that they were playing to him were by sending long balls up to him. And he's playing against a defender who's much bigger and stronger than him. And his back is turned and he just gets pushed back into the ball. So even if he can receive it, he has no control or touch on it because he's getting pushed backwards. So I don't think he played great in the game, but I think a lot of it had to do with how he was utilized and how the team was trying to get the balls to him more so than what he was doing specifically.
Yeah, I do think Busy is a very interesting signing for Allen FC in the way that we play, because playing with all this possession means we're going to kind of make the pitch smaller, and I actually think that really hampers Busy because he's definitely a big spaces player. I mean, we saw his best contribution so far against Birmingham, where he was able to kind of sprint at a guy, cover long distances, and kind of cause chaos that way. So I will be intrigued about how, over this season, and I believe he's on a multi-year, so next season, how he kind of grows into this system and how this system maybe adjusts to him, because he clearly has a lot of talent, but the way that we're playing right now makes it really hard, especially with such a tight, compact team last night. And, Sacramento, it's kind of the second game in a row where I've been like pretty stunned at how large the center backs were on the other team. And, seeing Busy, especially against those guys who are making JJ look kind of small at times, was pretty alarming to say the least. But Irvin, what do you think about Busy's performance?
No, he did great when he was like I said before, he did great when he's on the field.
So you wouldn't have given him a 2?
No.
Interesting. I'm gonna write that one down in my notes.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, absolutely.
Please refer all commentary to Timmy Sclafani on that one.
Okay. That's okay. I actually spoke to him about the whole rating things. I honestly it's fine. I think that
So someone had to do it for 2 weeks. It's much harder than you think, folks.
No,
especially when you have to use Timmy's scale. Timmy's scale is very tough. A 5 is average. You have to always remember that.
I think he played the best that he could at the with the time that he had. Again, like I said, I feel like once he gets more used to this team, he'll utilize what he can. He's got heart. That's what I love about him. He's got that grit where he is able to push off. Like, he's not afraid to put his hands out and shove someone off to get that ball. So he definitely had a lot of those chances as well. He just, he lost the ball when he was like one-on-one running. Sometimes he just got outrun. Like, those defenders, they're gonna know how to run as quickly as they can to kind of go after him, or at least shove them off the ball. He's pretty not the tallest guy and not the toughest guy either, but when he's on the ball and he's able to shove, he'll go for it. But a 2 for sure, because I feel like he should have done a little bit more. I mean, I definitely expected at least a goal out of him out of this game, but I mean, again, we are in a drought for goals at this point. But Busy for me, like I
don't think you can even legally call it drought.
Yeah, no,
it's worse than a drought.
Yeah, what's the Sahara Desert? No, yeah, we're on Mars. There's no water here. Like, that's what it is. Like, it's bull. It's bull. Yeah. So I mean, a 2 is, I guess, is fair. I feel like this whole team played freaking 2, if anything.
Oof.
That's just my take.
We'll get into the kind of bigger picture performance here, but next to the subs was, and actually before that, just to touch on Joe Brito, I thought he did have a really good performance. We did see last year Joe became kind of a specialist towards the end of the season of becoming kind of closing games down and getting a lot of like goals and assists from his work rate and just the kind of the talent that he can bring, especially against a tired defense. And I thought he had a couple really good balls in behind for Clay, and obviously with Joe Brito, he ran his socks off there. So, I don't know if Joe Brito got a rating. I don't know what it was, but I did think it was a good performance from him.
I thought he did well. When that sub happened, even though I wasn't loving what Dwayne was able to do in that game, based on what I just said, I didn't feel great about Brito coming in, and I'm not.
I was. Guy, but I don't know if you. Oh, it was Timmy next to me, and I was like, "Who is Joe coming in for in the 56th minute?" And I was like, "If it's Maxi, I'm gonna lose my mind."
Yeah, I didn't know either. But when that was announced, I looked at my dad, and my words were, "Not an upgrade, not an upgrade." Like I didn't
Your
think
fellow countryman, unbelievable.
I mean, I like him as a person, but it's what and we talked about it with Timmy before too. I think where Brito's best utilized is that was when we have a lead, and he's just his tenacity to chase down people, to cause problems when the other team has the ball, serves us really well, to hold the ball when we get it. When we're chasing a goal, that's where I think he becomes less effective. But and I agree with your assessment of how he played. I thought he had a really solid game. Like I thought he brought a lot of energy. I thought that he created a lot. He was a lot more active all over the field than I was giving him credit for before he came in. So ultimately, I think it was a good substitution. I do think it positively impacted the game, and I'm glad he came in.
Yeah. So Irvin, next up we had probably my favorite substitution window. So we had the return of Frank Nadarce, who came on for Amos Shapiro-Thompson, and Noah Fuson, who came on for Aldair Sanchez, which led to the best 8 minutes of the night, which was Clay Holstad back in midfield, baby. Let's go. Irvin, what did you think about that substitution window there?
I'm happy that Clay gets to play in the position he's supposed to be in.
Do you think
So
when he gets out, like when he gets back in midfield, do you think like there's like a little he gets butterflies?
he gets
Like,
giddy,
like
absolutely.
seeing your old
'Cause he's
crush.
supposed to be there. He's supposed to be there. It's like I feel like I've been saying this all season. You can't play these players as versatile as coach thinks that he has these players for. They have a favorite position. You can't oh, you used to play left back. I'm gonna put you in a left back. Like why would you do that? Like this guy clearly thrives in the midfield. Why would you do that? I get out of necessity. I guess he's there, but I mean, thank God Frank's back. We don't ever have to see Clay in the back line. I hope not.
Big dog, I got.
I hope not.
Dude, I hope you're right, but I think the fact that he immediately took that right wing back spot after 8 minutes and
we'll get to that in a second. Don't ruin this for me.
I won't ruin this prize.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm happy Frank's back. I think he played great. He definitely played to what I thought he was going to go when it comes to the minutes. I'm glad Clay got back to the positions that he did. But yeah, like you said, he went back and he was going back and forth. So he was flip-flopping from positions. So like that to me, it was already like, what is going on? What are you doing? Like stay, help the fucking line, please.
Yeah. So I won't get ahead to the next sub to not spoil that either. But at halftime, I was talking to Timmy and I was like, we're going to see Clay in the middle for 5 minutes and it's going to be a glorious 5 minutes. So then
he keeps doing that.
Yeah. So when he got moved, I think I was trying to get Timmy's attention to be like, see, 5 minutes. 5 minutes is all we got. And I completely agree, Irvin, what you said. These players are all versatile, which is great. And I love that he has that vision of being able to plug and play people. But that versatility should come in being able to cover positions at certain points in the game or at certain points in the season. It should not be to move players out of their best position. And one of my biggest strikes against Kano that I've had all year long is that I think that he has not put his players in the best position to succeed, whether it's in the best position on the field in the formation, or like we talked about with Busy earlier, in the best position in terms of being able to set up tactics that leverage their abilities. So when you have, in my mind, their best player or top 2 or 3 best players in Clay, and the most influential player that we have, our player of the year last year, not playing in the place where he can most make the difference when a team is fucking starving for goals. Why do you keep insisting on putting him on the right spot? And then he goes in there and plays in the middle for 8 minutes, and he made a difference. Like he was lively in the middle, he was creating chances, and then they fucking move him. Like, why do you do this? It's not just Clay. Everyone's being put into the wrong position, and when you have everybody slightly misaligned, there's cohesiveness issues and people not understanding what they're supposed to be doing. And when you're doing that every game, then everyone's having a new position to play or a new role to play every game. And there's never any buildup or progression that happens. And that's why this team looks as lifeless now as it did at the beginning of the year. There's been no progression. And this is the big part of it. Just play your players in their best positions.
Yeah, I feel like that's what they're here to do, right? That's what they're getting paid to do, to play the positions that they've been scouted to do. Like, I don't understand that. That's yeah, I agree. Like, we have every right to be pissed off about that. Like, our main dude, the Clay Goalstead, not the Clay Defendstead. Like, come on, man. Like, this guy's not a fucking wall. He's supposed to be shooting the ball at the net. Please. That's all I want you to do. Do that. 5 minutes is not enough. 5 minutos, we didn't score a goal, did we? In those 5 minutos? A la verga.
We almost did. I mean, I think
shit.
we got some of our best chances when Clay was in the middle.
Right,
the thing that killed me is Clay was in I think it was like, he comes in the 69th minute. It's like the 72nd minute, and he has like the most quintessential Clay Holdstad experience where he like gets that second ball recovery, breaks through the lines, passes it out, and then is crashing into the box and almost gets a scrappy goal out of it. And I was like, what a dream. I said this earlier to some folks. We were talking about the 8 minutes of Clay Holdstad. It was like, I have Clay Holdstad midfield blue balls from that, because oh my God, what a nice time. What a nice time that was, because in the 77th minute, we then lose Clay Holdstad in the midfield. He goes back out to the right wing back because Haraval comes in for Grant Stoneman. Dodarce moves into the back line. Sorry, I'm trying to remember all the chess pieces that happen every single time we make a sub versus just like subbing people in where they should play. So we do see kind of this merry-go-round, which then poor Clay finds himself back at right wing back. But I would say from there, so 77th minute on, I did think we looked for a while like the team more likely to score. So we had 2 really big chances there. Max Rodriguez in front of goal. One of them was a great save by the keeper. One of them he misses just wide. But I think really brutal. Obviously, Maxi wanted to bury those, but also it was starting to feel like the momentum was shifting towards, or should I say, the tide was rising towards Rhode Island FC there. So, Irvin, what'd you make of that kind of stretch of play where it seemed like Rhode Island FC was kind of dominating there?
Like I said, like it was. I truly felt we were gonna score a chippy goal. Like I truly felt we were gonna score a nasty, just dumb goal, and I didn't even care. Like Louisville, stupid.
I want to be so
Louisville,
clear.
stupid.
I will take any goal that Rhode Island FC gives me right now.
At this point, listen, I think I've mentioned this before to the reject Hasbro toy that we know and love. Yeah, and you know what I'm talking about. I don't want perfect. I don't want perfect today. This isn't River Plate. I don't want the 3 Gs. I don't want great goals, great plays, all that stuff. I just want them to sweat and give me a goal. We win. A win is a win. No, I don't care how many times they score. That's why I don't care when we win 1-0 or 2-1.
I dream about a 1-0.
I don't. Right. I dream exactly. The fact that we're salivating over just a goal is crazy. I just want to know that I can pop my pyro during mid-game instead of having to do it after the anthem and during after the start of the second half. That's not fun. I want to see a goal, and these guys can produce that. I know they can. So when I saw them playing and I saw everybody, you could hear the stadium, making those grunting noises like they're about to score. I literally thought it passed the line at one point, and I'm like, I can't believe it. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Again, another time. Either we don't get our chicken or we're never going to see a goal.
We're going to talk about chicken. Yeah, I would say so speaking of that, we did have 3 corners in this half compared to 2 for Sacramento. We had 0 in the first half. So on top of the kind of pressure building with those chances from Maxi, we also did see some actual set pieces here. And yeah, Andrew, I'll give you your chance, number 1 on Maxi, but number 2, if you want to start us off on kind of the corners, the set pieces, like the momentum that was building there.
Yeah, that the momentum building at that point in the game, we're so stupid. We're so naive. I actually thought we were going to score. I was like, it's going to happen. It's finally going to happen.
Well, you want to hear the funniest part is I didn't hear the Chick-fil-A thing go off because 116 is much louder than 205. And I was like, oh my God, is there like a clause that the Chick-fil-A is only for like league games? And we're about to fucking score.
But they wouldn't be playing that thing. They wouldn't be playing it if it was like, it's time for the Chick-fil-A corner
kick. I didn't hear it, so I was
yeah.
like, oh my God, this isn't happening. And then I finally saw it on the screen. I was like,
yeah.
But during one of those kicks, I think it was, during that really part we're really building up, and I felt like something good was happening. I looked at my dad and I was like, this is it. I hadn't said this all year long. I looked at him, I was like, this is it.
I mean,
we're getting our chicken sandwiches happening on this kick.
Like we have to be due, right?
Yeah, like I was like, it's finally going to happen. This is when we get our chicken sandwich. But no, it wasn't like there's some progression there. I mean, we'll take any progression we can get. I think there's still a lot of like really shitty balls to get put in. Like I think Mark had one. I don't know if it was a set piece. I think it was a set piece.
Yeah,
we just sent the thing. Like it's not even a playable ball. And even a couple, like 1 or 2 of the corner kicks, like just sails over everybody. I'm just like, what are we doing here? Like why? I don't understand how you can't even do this in a way where you can have a playable ball where someone might be able to get on the end of it and just bounce around and go in the net. It's just like you're not even giving us an opportunity to get the ball in the box.
Well, I also think it's the thing I don't understand that, and it worked out okay last year. I don't think we ever scored, but I was like, oh, this is an interesting tactic. Is we always aim for that like person on the back post, which is usually JJ, which is like kind of hard to do because you're aiming for literally one person who's like trying to hold off somebody. But then I like realized last night because I did it a few times. I was like, you know who would be awesome for JJ to head the ball to in this scenario? JJ Williams. Like, what else are we like? Why aren't we getting like he should be in the middle of the box with the other large people, and you should just aim for that bucket of large people. Like we keep joking about it, like just aim for the tall guys, but it is truly at this point of like we should just try aiming for the tall guys because, yeah, again, it's a very weird tactical thing where like this is something you can practice a lot and like get one a season. Like we're asking for 1 goal, like. We just like someone was saying, like we should start betting on Pawtucket Jay. We should start betting, taking bets for the rest of the season if we'll score on a quarter. It's like, brother, I'm betting my lunch every Monday that we're going to score on a corner. I'm waiting for that Chick-fil-A sandwich.
My dad says the same thing. He says the same thing every time he goes to the game. He always says it in Spanish. He says, "They took my fucking lunch today, Irvin. They took my goddamn lunch today. Me quitaron el sándwich, la gran puta. And they took my lunch away." It's the funniest thing ever that he says that, and it's like, what do you need a Chick-fil-A sandwich? I'm like, I want a free sandwich. I'm not gonna take it during my lunch. But it's like, are we? I guarantee you, I'll put a bet right now. We're not getting chicken this year.
Okay, so I'm
I mean,
gonna say,
And Chick-fil-A is gonna be happy.
as someone who works in marketing, if you work at Chick-fil-A, if you're the manager of Chick-fil-A Attleboro and you were somehow listening to this, if we don't actually score a corner, like I know you budgeted for at least 3 of these, probably give the fans a chicken sandwich. Like
You know what's gonna
have
be
to.
worse is if it does happen, out of spite, they're gonna go to the Attleboro thing. Out of spite, they're like, I finally got my chicken, and that manager's gonna shit bricks.
I mean,
Alright,
I
if
might
we-
go on a way if it's an away goal. Like I might just go.
It's gonna
Just
be
do it,
like
yeah.
it's gonna be like that episode of SpongeBob, the nematodes coming into the they're gonna absolutely kill that place. You thought the drive-through was worse when it was just a normal business hours. Get ready to have the hooligans come in and just to get a sandwich out of spite.
That'd
Out
be
of spite.
hilarious.
I don't even want a chicken sandwich. I just want to know that I can get one.
Irvin, if we do another end of year Defiance party, we got to check with
We
Chick-fil-A
are.
Attleboro and see
We
if
are.
they can hook us up with just a bunch of Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Like
Okay.
we
That's
deserve
my
them.
CFO.
You know what? You know what? But I might have to talk to the team about that to give me the contact information. But if you guys want them to cater, I will make it
Oh,
happen.
We,
No,
we
I
are
think
owed
Andrew's
some
saying they
sandwiches.
should cater for free because
Oh,
of
they
the
should
free
cater,
beef.
yeah.
Like, they did
Okay,
not
so then how
pay.
about this? I'll literally have to contact. It's like, listen, if we don't score a corner, then you guys still owe us chicken sandwiches. You got to give me at least like 50 sandwiches for this end of the year party.
It's genuinely wild at this point. For a team who was actually like one of the top in the league last year, we are the only team who has not scored on any sort of set piece this year, and it is genuinely kind of crazy. And as Martin says, the Chick-fil-A conspiracy lives on. One of these days, I'm going to work up the time to do a Chick-fil-A conspiracy deep dive on one of these shows. But it sounds like a great offseason documentary.
I have no data behind this, but we have to be one of the taller teams in the league too, right? We have
you
to
don't
be.
have, sir. I literally did a slide on this. Yes, we are the second largest team in the league, and that includes averaging Kevin Vang.
What about Busy? Busy might have dragged him down.
So I would say that I think
That
the
knocked the
sketchy
average
data
down.
set I found, which was I could not believe it was like the first thing on Google. I was like, there's no way this exists. It was just like sketchy CSV I could download that had all the heights of the
All the
USL
heights.
players. I don't think Busy was in the team, so we might have creaked down, but it's like us and like I think Indy that are like way above everybody else. So
That's what
Right,
Indy might
and we
score
have
in
to deal
a
with
corner
them.
this
Yeah,
year.
yeah. They're gonna get us the Chick-fil-A sandwich. Absolutely, they're gonna get us the Chick-fil-A sandwich.
I mean, we'll see here, but as I think everybody knows, obviously Rhode Island FC had that nice stint from probably like the 75th minute to the 80-something minute, and then it was really all Sacramento down the stretch. Which, quite frankly, I was holding my breath, just being like, "Please get the corners, please get PKs, please get the PKs." Which I have never wished for PKs in my life. They're a horrific experience. They're, as many of people said, a coin flip. But yeah, I mean, Andrew, how are you feeling in those kind of last 10 minutes?
I very much was not hoping for PKs. I wanted that to go on as long as possible, regardless of what the flow of the game was, because I know what our history of penalty kicks was. And I remember I've mentioned it to my dad when there was like 10 minutes left. I was like, a tie is a loss. Like that's the way we've done with the PKs. It feels like we need to win this in regulation because I have no confidence that this team's going to be able to get it done in penalty kick. So I wanted to just see if we can get it done in regulation and not have this go. And even when the game ended, like the opposing goalkeepers, whenever they do a shutout, like they're always, happy with themselves as they should be. And but he looked really happy. Like it looked like he just won the game. Like I think he understood what was about to happen when the final whistle blew.
I mean, when you have Danny Vitiello as the number one, I mean, I think getting a shut, like proving that you also are getting shutouts, I think is big. But yeah, Irvin, what do you think about those last kind of 10 minutes there?
Annoyed.
I want to be clear. I wasn't wishing for penalties. Like I don't ever want penalties. I also wanted us to score. I just was not. I just looked. I thought
as soon as they said,
I was like, if this keeps going, they're gonna.
How much extra? As soon as they announced extra time at the 90th minute, I said, "La verga, we're done." Because I went to the supporter section. I tried to get the adrenaline back up and running. I'm ready to go for these penalties. But oh my God, did I not? I told the people that are around me, if we go to penalties, I'm going to lose my marbles. I don't want to go to penalties. Because in my head, I thought, okay, who can do these? Maxi will do it. JJ, we got JJ Atkinson. If he was on the field, will do it. And then after that, everyone is just like a toss of the coin. It's like they're all scared of this ball. So, like, I don't know how that was going to go down. Thankfully, we had Koke in net, so we might have gotten a save or two. But, I mean, hey, we're about to talk about it now. So get ready for this roll of dice, baby.
We're going to talk about the second, that last set of subs first, because I feel like we do have stuff to talk about there. The Noah coming in and then Clay and Darcy moving around.
Oh, we already did that.
Well, just
But if you have anything to add, feel free.
just that last set of subs with Clay coming back out and Frank shifting around. I don't understand the need. And granted, Hervo ended up having an impact in that he set up that Maxi opportunity that he ended up missing. But why is it that we needed to put Hervo in to move Frank from right wing back to defense, to put Clay back in the right wing back spot, and have Noah go out to why did all that to happen? We have Mabika on the bench who's been starting for us, so maybe there's an eye towards Saturday and making sure people are fresh, and Mabika just can't seem to go 90 minutes ever. But at that end of the game, with no extra time beyond that, why wouldn't you just leave Frank on the right and leave Clay in the middle? Just a simple substitution, 1-for-1, leave your best players where they're best suited. Like that, I was frustrated in that moment because it just felt like the progress we were making with Clay being back in the middle was all like reset because he needed to get Haraval back in there in a specific spot.
Well, if you want to be talk about naive, I thought for like 4 seconds when I saw Haraval standing at the touchline that we were actually going to finally get the midfield I've been wanting to see. I think the only time we saw it was in Westchester, I believe, but the Maxi Clay Haraval midfield, I was like, oh my God, we're finally going to get it. This is the best day of my life. And then I see Clay trot his ass back over to right wing back.
That's funny. I went the opposite way. So you had the
no, you are
optimistic
correct.
view.
I mean,
I had the pessimistic view where I thought Haraval was going in the back line and then he was going to, well, I guess it was semi-optimistic because I thought the other pieces were going to change or stay not change, I should say. And Haraval would just go a 1-for-1 swap. And I was like, is he really putting Haraval on the back line again? Like, haven't we seen how that works out? Like, why are we doing this? Then I realized what was happening. I was like, all right, this isn't much better.
Yeah, so tough end of the match. I think the momentum was clearly with Sacramento, but we do get to PKs, and I think the funniest part about the PKs was we were all trying. I know like Labonda was still going, trying to give it, and we were all like, wait, quiet. We need to hear which way we're going because I had the train horn in my hand tucked, and I was like, I'm sprinting to the opposite side of the field if like they announced that the PKs are that way. But luckily, it seemed like the teams. I don't know if they like just were like, well, sure, we'll all go over there, but the ref like immediately was like, we're going that way.
I was curious about that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was
the
like,
opposite end,
do they not usually flip a coin for that? I was so surprised too that they went immediate to the south end.
I thought whoever wins the toss can pick either a side or shoot first or second. So I presume that whoever loses or whoever someone's
this is just another rule that Jaegermeister has. He's like, no, screw it. We'll just put you guys where the ultras are.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if the teams just like both agreed to it or I don't know, but I loved it. I'll tell you that much.
If it was on the opposite end, Irvin, would we have all like? I was ready to do a mad dash to the other side.
So security, the head of security said, they said as soon as the whistle blew, they didn't know, they didn't hear it, but they said get your stuff and sprint over there if it's over there.
Okay.
So they were already going to let us bring all of our stuff over there. Not our banners because it was tied up, but I mean we were gonna bring the drums regardless. We were gonna bring everything over there. Smokes and all. So I mean, but thankfully we stayed in the south end where all of the noise was already at. So I mean, thankfully it was good.
All right, I'm glad there was a plan there because I was ready to just grab my shit and run.
I was too. I was like I didn't know where to go. Thankfully they said south end, and I was like, no, right here.
Yeah, and shout out to Matt Jean. He literally came up to me. He was like, "Get ready, get ready to run, if need be." But yeah. So with that, obviously, so Sacramento goes first. Roro Lopez goes up and he absolutely buries one, which that didn't make me feel good. It's always tough when the first guy comes up and we're going absolutely nuts on the drums and cheering and telling him all sorts of terrible things, and he just buries one in the corner. So that was tough there. Next up, Maxi Rodriguez steps up and he has been Mr. Clutch this year, hasn't missed a penalty for us, and he bangs one in off the post. And it doesn't go in there, which was really brutal on a night that Maxi, I know, was very disappointed in with those kind of misses in front of net. And then, missing this first PK for Royal FC, pretty brutal. Next up.
You had a better view than I did because I was a little off to the side. I couldn't tell. Was it post in hand or hand in post?
It was like literally literally the ball right here, so it hit the post and it went straight to his hand, so he was able to just knock it back down. That's what I don't think it crossed the line completely though.
No, yeah, I thought it was post in hand, but then when I was watching the highlights before the show, I
there's a bit of both. There's a bit of both.
Basically, what I'm asking is like, would that have gone in if the goalie didn't save it? That was
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think it would have hit the post, reflected down, but I think because he had his hand there, he was able to push.
get it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, SofaScore has that as off target, so I'm assuming it hit the post first. But I mean, shout out to Joe Mazzulla. He had quite the game in net, and I'm kidding. It's Jared
I
Mazzulla.
was gonna say that's the guy's name.
It's Jared Mazzulla. I mean, like you said, like if it did hit the post or not, like he was over there and he got his hand on it still. So, you know, when your PKs are tough, they're kind of fine margins. They're kind of a coin flip in a lot of ways. So, 1-0 Sacramento. Next up, Russell Cicerone comes up, buries it. I think he went like upper 90. That one was one where I was like, shit. Like, because we were going absolutely berserk trying to throw him off, and he just buried one upper 90. And I was like, oh God, this could be bad. And next up, we see JJ Williams put a PK further than I've seen one off target in a very long time, especially from your star striker. Benitez steps up, buries his, and then we see Mazzola save Noah Fusan's penalty there for Sacramento to win it. But you know, general, any overarching thoughts, Andrew, on the penalties?
Yeah, a lot. A lot of thoughts. I meant to do it earlier today and didn't get a chance, but I wanted to go back and look at all of the penalties that we have taken since last year, like in penalty kick shootouts, in games. Have we hit more than 50% of them? Like, I know Maxi's hit a bunch, but
frankly, if you took out Max Rodriguez, it's definitely under.
If you took out Maxi, it's definitely under 50%. And then in that same time, if you look at all the penalties that we have defended against, obviously the other team has missed some, but how many have we saved? I remember the Koke one, I think, against Loudon late last year, and that might be it that I can think of for saves. So, like, this is why I was saying a draw is a loss. Like, this is why I felt like it wasn't going to go our way, especially since Sacramento just came off of the last round and you know, was lights out there too. So I didn't have confidence in it. It feels like the players don't have confidence too. And it felt like that way even since early last year, right? Chico missed the first one. And then early in the year last year, ended up missing the second one. They ended up going into, can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you.
He lost connection for a bit, huh?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
My computer just shut off. I haven't touched my mouse in a while. Yeah, then in the penalty shootout last year, we had a few misses, and it just felt like with like Noah missed his first couple, so it just felt like there were confidence issues there. And then we got that back on track when JJ started to bang him in at the end of the year last year. But seeing the penalties last night, particularly with Noah and with JJ too, like it just felt like they were trying to guide it. Like Noah's felt like he was trying to guide it to the right. JJ just felt like he was trying to do something unnatural. Like they don't have that confidence. Like Sacramento went up there and they just banged it home. Like we were screaming, we were banging the drums. Some of us might have been doing some of this in the stands, and there was just there was no shaking in their confidence because I feel like they've been there, they've done that, they feel good about their abilities to do it. It doesn't feel like this team feels good about their ability to do it outside of Maxi, and even a really good penalty kicker is not going to make every single one. So like I feel for him because he does feel, right? We saw the Instagram story. Like he feels like he let a lot of people down and let himself down. Mm-hmm. And it was still like a decently taken penalty. It was just a little bit off the mark, whereas the other ones just didn't feel like they were nearly good enough. So and then I was walking back to my car with my dad, and he kept saying like they knew that there was a possibility that they were going to be taking penalty kicks at the end of this game. Did they not practice it? And this goes back to the set piece things. Like I'm sure they're practicing it, but there's been no improvement. Like if you just look back at their track record of these things, there is no improvement from the beginning of the year to the year.
So I struggle with set piece versus penalty. Like you can practice penalties all you want, but that moment is different. And I do think like losing to Hartford in a penalty shootout, and the fact that a lot of these, like we haven't seen a very consistently good penalty taker besides Maxi on this team so far in the not even 2 years yet. So I do think penalties are much more of a confidence thing, especially too with a team that doesn't feel confident about scoring at all. Like it doesn't. It doesn't look like there's a group of guys out there that are like confident they're going to put the ball in the back of the net, which is kind of crazy when you list off some of the names on the squad. But like quite frankly, like one of my favorite players, but like Noah looks like absolutely zero confidence right now. Like there was a point where he had a defender one-on-one on the wing, and like that's like the perfect opportunity you would have saw him last year, completely skin the guy and create a chance. And almost like, and you could almost see like a timidness to it and like overthinking. And you know, I think
last year we said this too. He's a confidence player, and it felt like he didn't have the right level of confidence for the first part of the year, and then he found himself and he was on fire, and that confidence hasn't returned.
Yeah, and just really quick, Matt Hands, Kano, we'll get to Kano's post-match in a second. Kano said it's a lottery and it wasn't about confidence. I just couldn't disagree more as someone who, like, Kano obviously also played the sport at a very high level. As someone who took PKs in high school, like, again, a very lower level, but like, it's really all about you're standing one-on-one. It's you, the keeper. Sometimes that net can feel real big. Sometimes that net can feel really small. And I feel like the net feels really, really small to these guys right now.
In game too, not just on the penalties,
Oh,
just
yeah.
like in general. Yeah.
So I have a controversial take about the penalty shootout that I have gotten very mixed opinions today, floating it around, but I'm going to say it out loud on a podcast. So I was, and I was telling this to Irvin at the time, and I know he already knows what I'm going to say, but I did not like that we kept drumming and chanting during our players' PKs. I was very much like we should treat these like free throws. Because like the advantage of them coming over to us is that we get to set the environment for this match. So let's make it hell for Sacramento. Let's make it like a beautiful, serene place for our boys. I've been told multiple people today that that's an idiotic statement, but I am going to say it on the podcast for people to also yell at me. It's an idiotic statement. But Irvin, you first. Why is that dumb?
I mean, listen, I think I've mentioned this many times to people when it comes to
Timmy's still in the chat. Timmy, come on.
My God, man, go and like hang out with your wife, dude. Jesus Christ. Happy anniversary.
Oh my God, he literally said I'm here to be in the live chat to be on the record that I disagree with Ryan's take.
Okay, that makes sense. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, I did have a conversation with Heel about that as well, just to kind of get his take on this. I'll give you what he said to me. He says that he feels that it is part of the culture when it comes to that type of environment that we're trying to create. The barras never stop. Think of it as a heartbeat. Until the game is over, completely over, win, lose, or draw, the beats has to keep going so that the players know that we're with them. If we stop, they'll feel like, oh, they stopped. That means they stopped supporting, because they've always known us as the 90-minute of pure chaos, that pure drum. So even during their penalties or during like the opposition, where like Koke needs that like pressure. Koke needs that like love, that he knows that his beat is with us. We got you. Really, really think about it. And to be honest, I feel like regardless of if we're playing the game or not, whether we're playing the drums or not, that pressure was already going to be there.
I guess I do also want to be very clear. Yeah. I do not think that is why the peak.
No, yeah, and
I want to
that's
be very
fine.
clear on that.
That's fine, and like I just feel like they truly just wanted to make sure that they knew that they were there and that we had their back during the tough times. I've always said los buenas y las malas, which translates to through the good and the bad. We're always going to be there for them, so we want to be there for them. That's why our motto is forever faithful. We want to make sure that they know that even through the toughest times, we're going to bitch about it for sure. We're going to get mad about it. We're going to criticize the team, but we are allowed to criticize the team. In the end of the day, we are the proper owners of Rhode Island FC, regardless of who.
Yeah, you hear that, Brett Johnson?
Yeah, regardless of who owns it, money wise, dinero wise. In the end of the day, los hinchas own the team, because without fans, there is no team, there is no support. And Koke has said it to me multiple times. Without you guys, we wouldn't play as good. Mm-hmm. So it is nonstop. So if you know about barra culture, if you know about ultras culture, it just comes with that territory. So I get it, and I totally understand where you're coming from on this. So I don't disagree with you on that level. But with culture wise, I think shifting the culture will, just for like a penalty kick, it just doesn't seem right for them to know that, like, hey, we might stop to give you guys a little bit of a thing. They did slow down a little bit. I mean, we definitely tried to slow them down.
Yeah,
but a few of them just wanted to keep playing.
I
think a few of them just wanted to keep playing so that they knew that there was at least the beat going. So that's just how we interpret things. Yep. Your take is very valid. You know, you definitely.
Timmy, you can say it in a nice way.
Yeah, that's in the nice way.
Andrew, what do you think?
I agree, but I disagree. And there you go, La Banda. I stand with La Banda.
Honestly, I don't really have a super strong opinion on it. I do err toward wanting there to be noise, because I do think it just feels weird for a team that already feels pressure to just step in and everything just like goes silent. Like I do feel like there's a sense of there's people behind me. You know, we're feeling it together. Mm-hmm. When the beat continues to go, I do think having it be a little bit reduced so it's not as loud would be beneficial because then you're still hearing something. They can still kind of get in a rhythm and then just kick it up, 10 degrees as much as we can when the other team goes. That's
I just
right,
want to be
Tim.
clear. Also, on the wrong side.
Tim,
Also,
you so
La
jealous.
Banda all day. Love La Banda. This is not a slight against La Banda. Just a idea that popped in my head and I couldn't get over it. So
Yeah. So like I mean, different sports do in different ways. With basketball, obviously they're going quiet for the free throws, but I don't have a big issue with there being some noise and not just being completely silent, as long as we just like take it up as many notches as possible when the other team is stepping up.
And I think they did that very well. As soon as they were about to take their shot, we pumped it up. I was standing on the railings. I didn't even say I was flipping them off. I
oh
was
yeah.
calling them words in Spanish I won't say here, but I was just telling them off. It was do or die, brother. It was do or
The
die.
poor train horn that Matt Jean let me use for the game was on
It
flash
died.
at that point, but I was trying to give it my all. At
You
that
were a
point.
kid in a toy store. You were having so much fun with that last night.
Listen, it's the best. And one of my favorite things about this cup run is being in 116 for these past two matches, because as someone who sits up in the lofty 205, it is fun being back to my roots of last year and being with La Banda, with the Defiance and the real sickos there. So awesome.
Agreed.
So we'll get to the full-time stats here. So Rhode Island FC did have less possession in the second half at 43%, but 6 shots to their 3, 2 shots on target for both teams. Both had one big chance, both missed it. Rhode Island FC had 117 accurate passes to Sacramento's 177. 10 fouls committed to their 8, 3 corners.
Are we talking about the entire game, or is this the?
This is just second.
half? Okay,
For the full time, possession is about 50-50, 48-52. 9 shots to 10 for Sacramento, 3 shots on target to their 4. One big chance to their 2. Both teams missed all the big chances. So yeah, again, pretty even game at the end. I think, I don't know if 0-0 was fair, but I think a 1-1 or so would have been pretty fair.
But can we just call out this? This is a good microcosm on the possession discussion. First half, majority possession. I feel like we were outplayed. Second half, conceded the ball a good amount. I feel like we were the better team in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, my only not to get all nerdy.
Case in point, we don't need the damn ball to play good soccer.
I mean, again, I think some of the adjustments we made at halftime, especially again, the press really stood out to me in the second half of I think they had a lot of possession, but I wouldn't be shocked if more, again, a lot of their passing was in their half, and I wouldn't be shocked if it was more in their third, in the middle third. I think it really got congested in there, and I think we, especially in those minutes like Clay Holstad was in the midfield, we were really battling in there. And making the most out of it, but
that's related though, right? Like I think when you have that press going and you're pressing higher up the pitch, you can't just stand back with the ball. Like you don't collect the ball in the final third. Well, maybe Ronaldo does, but then go and recycle it and try to hold on to the ball. Like you tend to have you're in more advantageous positions, and you tend to have less of the ball that way when you're putting on a high press. And I think that's when they're at their best. And that's really we talked about this a bunch of times. It's not that we don't want the ball; it's that we want to play in a style that's quicker, that's more aggressive, that leads to you not having the ball as much, but being more dangerous when you do have the ball.
No, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that is it's hard to get over with, like the difference between last year and this year. Like last year, our press was really good, but we also had players who did a really good job working off the press. So I talk about this a lot, but like Haraval and Clay, one of their superpowers is just their running ability and their ability to pick up those second balls. So, whether that's bouncing off JJ on like his hold up play, or that's kind of, Ibarra's in there making the tackle and Clay's right there to pick it up, or Haraval's in there to make tackle, Clay's here to pick it up. It's like those second balls we were top notch at last year. We don't win those anymore. And it really slows down our pace of play, and it slows down our directness, because then we have to do this kind of recycling, bringing it all around versus getting forward and creating those, 2-on-1, 1-on-1 opportunities that we just don't see.
I couldn't agree more. I think the second balls are just, they don't win them.
Yeah. And like we literally have a player whose superpower is recoveries. Like Clay Holstad, I think led the league last year in recoveries. He is incredible at it. He has a very good nose. He's number one, just a freak athlete, but number 2 has a good nose for the collisions happening. I got to get over there to get it. And then I will use my perfect right foot to go spring the attack and kind of spray it out to the wing back or spray up to JJ and get it moving. And again, just, we're not going to see that. I don't think we're going to see it the rest of the season. I don't know why. I genuinely don't know why. At this point, it's why not try? But yeah.
Hard to win second balls from right wing back.
He fucking tries, I'll tell you how much. I mean, I do think that's the one thing I always want to make sure is clear about these discussions is I do not fault Clay or any of these players playing that position, I will like applaud them wholeheartedly because it like especially you're playing wingback when you're like a midfielder, it's like, oh fuck, I've just run up and down the wing all game. That is exhausting and terrible. And as someone who played fullback his whole life, and like I don't think anyone would like want to sign up for that job. Never mind, it's like not their actual job, and like literally not what they train for. You kind of train a little bit differently for that type of position. So, yeah, like shout out to Clay, shout out to Amos, who have both been like very admirably stepping into those positions, but it is neither their best position, and it's just unfortunate that this roster's been set up this way that they are having to fill in there.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. So we will move on to let's see, Kano's post-match commentary on this one, because I think there's some interesting tidbits in there. So this is like about 2 minutes or so. I'm going to play it the full thing if I can find out how to do that. Yep. Here we go.
Disappointed not to score again. Yeah, the PKs were what they were, but we got to score goals. We got to score goals at home. But yeah, very disappointed not to score goals at home and go out of the competition. But we got to move on to Saturday quickly.
Could those PKs just a lack of confidence? Because those guys are obviously better.
PKs are a lottery. It is what it is. Nobody's lacking confidence. It's a PK. It's 12 yards.
Do you need to rethink the PK system?
No.
For the 90 minutes, what did you see? What did you like? What kind of frustrated you?
Didn't score. Just said it. We had chances. We didn't score. Need people to put the ball in the back of the net. And that's on me too. But I thought we had the better chances. Didn't score.
Connor, is it just down to the individual performances now of key players? Is it?
No, I'm never going to throw individual players under the bus. It starts with me. It's no player's fault. We didn't score. I'm the head coach. It's my fault.
What I meant to say is with some of the additional players, you now have Diop coming along. Will that help you adjust some of the momentum and the tactics that you want to change to be able to find the back of the net?
Diop's a left-sided center back. He's not going to score goals for us.
Understandable, but he may offer things that create, chances and thoughts.
He gives us balance going forward, the ability to pass through the lines. He's excellent at that.
Now that the tournament's over, your overall thoughts on the format, the season, etc.
Yeah, I don't want to get into discussing the format of the tournament. It was good for us. We got to the semifinals. I'm sure the league will reevaluate how they want to do the tournament or whatever. But we got no complaints. We had 2 knockout games at home. No complaints about the format. I'm sure it can be improved, but we just lost. I'm not thinking about the format of a tournament.
You've talked about short-term memory for your players, but this is one of those potential opportunities to have gotten hardware now. What do you have to tell this locker room going into this next regular season match, trying to get back into the playoffs here Saturday?
Yeah, we got to rest and recover first and foremost. The human beings, they're going to have to get over the disappointment of losing fairly quickly because they have a game on Saturday. And the best thing about when you go out of a competition is you have a game to put it right on Saturday. So they need to rest, recover, mourn, whatever way they need to mourn, and get over this and be ready for Saturday.
Yeah, so a lot there from Coach Kano. Honestly, a lot of stuff I really liked in there from him. But Andrew, what were your takes on his thoughts after the game?
I don't know. I watched this last night, and I was just in a bad mood already. He's just so pissy in these press conferences. Like, he's nasty to people. It's like very Bill Belichick in his prime, where he's just being a dick to people. And the whole it's a lottery thing, I was more upset about it in the initial time watching it because it felt like it's not a lottery. Your team stinks at penalty kicks. Like they were always, the underdog going into that. Hearing it again just now, the lead into that was basically him not wanting to throw the players on the bus. I think it was very much a comment just to say, I'm not going to say anything that puts any fault at the players. And I get that at this stage in the season, you're not going to see penalty kicks again unless you're in the playoffs. I don't blame him for not wanting to do that. And then a couple comments later, he made the same comment about, shouldering the blame, which, there were a couple snippets even on Twitter today of that. And it looks like he's being accountable. I don't take that as him being accountable. I take that as him just shielding his team and just saying, leave them alone. It's me. But I don't get the sense that he actually believes that. I just get the sense that he is protecting his players and wants to make sure that he's not throwing anybody under the bus.
All right, Erwin, what do you think?
Yeah, I guess he he's right about the lottery thing. It's definitely a lottery when it comes to it. Because I mean, technically, if you really think about it, if we think we have good players that can shoot, then yeah, it is a lottery. It all comes down to the mindset, the mind tricks that these guys can pull, and we kind of bumped it down. Yeah, I mean, I get why he acts the way he does. I mean, like that's just what he's supposed to be. He's pissed. I guarantee you, he's definitely pissed off
Mhm.
with everything that it comes down to it. But I mean, in the end of the day, it's a cup match. Should be they should be pissed. They should be mad. It's the semifinals that they got knocked out of. Congratulations to them for making on us 2 semifinals in 2 years of existence. Great. But I mean, we went backwards. Last year we went to a finals of a cup match, and now we got knocked out of a semifinals. So it's like, oh fuck. I mean, like, what about next year? We gonna get
Mhm.
knocked out in the quarterfinals of a playoff game or a Jaegermeister Cup again? Like we need, if we want to win silverwares, we I don't want to be a second place team. I think I've mentioned this multiple times to them. I've spoken to them before the game between Sacramento. Like, do you that trophy that you guys got last year is second place because you didn't put a star in your jersey. So either you guys got to pull your just get ready to go. Put some pressure on yourself. Like do that. I know they have pressure on themselves now for sure. Now they really got to do it. And I'll even say it like, yeah, they got to prepare for Saturday because honestly, if
Mhm.
we don't win Saturday, then like at this point, just call it a season because guess what? We can beat Indy. We could definitely beat Indy, but we need to score goals. That's my main thing. You can't win games if
I
you
was about to
don't
say, if you
score.
think we can beat them, we do need to do at least
Right, but
one.
this is what I mean. This is what I'm getting at. It's just like if we want to win games, if we want to make those points valuable, you need to win. You
Mhm.
need not only win, but you need to score a goal. Let's start there. You need to score. Mete la pelota in the freaking net. That's all you got to do. Put them in the net. At least put them directly in. Show us has to get some points, or at least you can't get 3 points if you want to make it to the playoffs. Because if we don't win Saturday, I honestly don't see anything happening for the playoffs. I feel like if we get 8th place, we'll get lucky and we'll get knocked out by Lou. But we'll see. We'll see. I want to keep the faith. But if I'm being realistic and I'm like really thinking about it, this entire season has been very low scoring, and we need to score goals. If it was high scoring and we're in this position, then they just need to tweak a couple things to make sure that they keep this. But they're not doing that. They're not even doing that. They're not scoring. They're not putting the ball in the net. I just want them to do that because at least we can at least have some hope that they might win this game or it'll be a good tie. But they're not even doing that. How the fuck you guys supposed to win with 0-0? And I get so mad about that. We have good players. We know what they're doing. So if Connor wants to take the blame, cool. I just hope that he's ready for next season because right now, in my eyes, and I've heard it from multiple people. I've spoken to La Banda, I've spoken to my father, I've spoken to family. Este temporada está chingado, which means this season is fucked. Fucked. Mierda. Todo mierda. Get ready next season, boys. Get ready. And ojalá I can make the trip to Bermuda. So I can tell you over there too. Putas. Get ready to go. Score some goals, please.
Yeah, so we'll get into a little bit more of the indie match in a second. But so number one, I did agree with not agree. I did like some of the stuff from Kano. I know we've been harsh on him at points here. I did like the kind of take him more of the blame, and I'm the head coach. We need to score goals. We always kept saying like it shouldn't be rocket science. What's wrong with his team? It does sound like he's at least seeing that, which is good. Andrew, any thoughts on just the cup run as itself? Like, did you enjoy the cup? What do you think of our performance in it? All
Yeah.
those good things.
The cup was fun. I hope that they continue this and hopefully expand on it. Like I still think it was a little bit Mickey Mouse in the way it was set up and the fact that there were so many groups and so like really only group winners were guaranteed to go through. Like there's some stuff they got to work through, but considering it's the first year, it expanded to the USL Championship. I love the idea of having those two competitions to play for because realistically, most of the teams in the USL Championship are not going to get very far at all in the US Open Cup. And even if they do, that kind of that's over by midsummer. So having something that kind of tracks along a little bit further, another competition to play for, get more teams in the mix. I think that's a very positive thing. And obviously having even USL League One in there, having Greenville go all the way to the semifinal, all of that is positive for the game. And then as they're looking to expand to create that top flight division and having multiple tiers with Pro L, like all of this is building toward that ecosystem that allows them to be more successful as a league with a pyramid in the future. So I enjoy it. I mean, if you look at who made it there, Greenville, USL League One, Rhode Island, who might not make the playoffs and is having a shit year. Hartford, who was having a shit year until this run at the end, really kind of like after they qualified is really when they started to hit the ground. And then Sacramento was really good, but all the other big players are gone. So just gets more teams involved. And I do think that's the work through some stuff on the format, but I love the tournament. I hope that this continues to improve with each year.
Awesome. A lot of love for Irvin in the chat right now. Irvin, any final thoughts for us?
Yeah, because I'll leave it at this because I do have to head out to finish up some prior engagements that I got to do. But I'll leave it at this because
What grocery store do you have to run right now?
funny. Another sim. I gotta drive another truck. But I'll say my piece that I usually try to tell people. Like, you know, I'm very animated when it comes to this team because I do love this team. This is exactly why the supporter group is the way I want to build it. It's because of my passion and what I love. Not 1 second will I ever say that I don't love this team or why I will support it till the end. I am always critical because I do love it. And I feel like Tide Talk, Raising Anchor, all the other 36ers can be critical about this, and they can say, because they have los colores. They always have the amber and blue, true and true. And I'll say it, absolutely. And they're the forever faithful. Those are the 36ers. You people are what make the supporter group and the team vibrant and colorful and passionate. And the Jaegermeister Cup, love this cup, by the way. I'll give it that. I love this cup, and I can't wait to do it again because if we get to play USL 1 teams, and honestly, I love Westchester. I love the away day to Portland. It's great. It was awesome to see these guys and see how they do things. So that's my take on that. But at the end of the day, I truly feel like we definitely need some soul searching. This team definitely needs some soul searching. They need to get out of their heads. They need to start playing with some guts. They really need to do it hungry. That's what I want them to do. I want them to be hungry. I think I've mentioned it to you guys before. They got to play with hunger. I want them to play with hunger. So with that being said, Defiance, through thick and thin, we're gonna be there. A las buenas, a las malas, we're gonna be there for them. You love this team. Keep loving this team. Keep being critical to the team. Keep doing what you're doing because you guys are the heartbeat of it. Without the fans, we are nothing. And to the others that think that they have a say in this but have no color, they're on a wheel, and their opinions think that they're on this freaking wheel. You guys know what I'm talking about. I in the end, I will always, because I'm the D1 hater. I look like mierda. Right there. There's my number one. That's to my number one fan, Hueco. That's it. Always. And forgive me for ruining the monetization of this video, but
Don't worry, that's never
yeah.
an issue.
but I give it to everyone here. You guys are awesome. You guys are great. You guys are truly the breast of fresh air, and I'm proud to be the president of this group. Proud to have made the connections that I have to you guys. Keep supporting this team. It's gonna be crappy this season for sure. They need to raise up. It's for sure. Guess what? Sophomore slump. Cool. But wash your hands and get ready for 2026 for sure, because that's the next preparation that I truly think so. But honestly, I want you guys to keep loving this team. Thank you guys for being at 116, by the way, for you guys to be there. I know Quadrados, your son was there and he had a great time. I'm glad that you guys always have a great time being in the section, and the Tide Talk family will always be with us for sure when it comes to Defiance and everything that we do. So at the hopefully we can have a drink no matter how the season ends today. We'll drink at the end of the year party. We'll have a laugh, and we'll prepare ourselves for 116. So I'll leave it at that. But thank you guys so much for having me. You guys are awesome, and with that, up the tide as always. Up the tide.
Irvin, I hope you see as Ptaka J put in the chat. If it wasn't for Defiance this season, it would have been much more miserable. I would say for us being in 116, they did fully close off 205, so we had no choice. But no, I'm just kidding. We absolutely loved it, and thank you so much for being on, my friend. I don't know. I think if you just leave, it'll be fine. So
yeah, no, I got you. Man. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Good night.
Alrighty, Andrew. So to wrap this one up, next up we do have Indy 11, as Irvin has alluded to. It's a pretty big match for us. So for those of you who have not looked at the table because you don't want to be just perpetually sad, I will bring this up. So we are currently in 9th place on 24 points. Indy is in 8th place on 26th. Pittsburgh's in 7th on 31 points, so 7 points ahead of us. We then have Birmingham Legion, Tampa, and Miami with 22, 21, and 20 points respectively. The other kind of big bummer here is that basically most of the teams ahead of us, we do not hold the tiebreaker for. So I believe the first tiebreaker is just head-to-head performance. So Saturday is, dare I say, a must-win game for Rhode Island. But Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, that's as close as we're going to get. I mean, 6-pointer. If we lose the game, we lose the tiebreaker too. It really makes a mountain that we didn't have to jump over. The remaining teams are accessible, but the most of the second, the bottom half of the Eastern Conference is accessible, and we still haven't been able to get wins against them. So we are the team people look forward to pick up their 3 points. And I don't, if we can't beat Indy, who's not very good, then I don't have confidence that we're going to pick up.
Yeah, that's my line. That's my line.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. We're not going to pick up the necessary remaining points out of the other games that are accessible, but now we have a much bigger hill to climb to get there. So this has to be it. I mean, if there's any chance of this season turning into anything, it comes down to this weekend. And if we lose, the window's still there, but it's nearly shut, and you really have no confidence that anything's going to happen beyond that. So has to be this weekend, and I think the team knows it too. And we'll see what kind of effort that they give, and if they can manage to get the ball in the net even one time, that'd be great. Just one time would be nice.
That's all we ask. Yeah, I mean, to Martin's point, we can still make it. And Martin, I definitely agree. And I do. One thing I do want to make sure is clear, like, we're critical of this team, of the coach, of everything. All of these people care deeply. Like the player, only a couple of players were out there last night because they were really upset after that loss. Like, they're not having fun. I think a lot of us have made some comments like this hasn't been nearly as fun. It feels like a grind going to matches. Quite frankly, doing content weekly about this team has been very difficult, as you'll see. There hasn't been slides lately because, quite frankly, I have no idea how to say in a different way all the things I've said all season. So yeah, I think if there could be a little, maybe some more offense, a little more just joy out there from both the players, I think that'll really permeate on and off the pitch. And yeah, like you said, it's a huge game. It might as well be a cup final at this point because, it'll be a tough hill to climb if we do not, as you just said, beat Indy on Saturday. So yeah, I don't really know any other lingering thoughts. I don't know that I want to end on that cheery note.
I guess just one point on the joy. We've seen it in limited moments in the season, even in the last month, where they do score or where they do have moments, like even last night and around that 80-minute mark when they're putting chances together. There's like there's a pep in their step that happens after that. It feels like all of a sudden they've woken up. And it's in there. Like we know it's in there. And it's felt all season long like we just need to string together a couple wins, a couple goals, and then maybe we'll see this team for what we think they should be. And they just haven't been able to get there. So I could see that the joy is hiding in them and it needs to come out, and we just need a goal or two to make that happen. And I'm hoping that this is the weekend. I think that they deserve to have a fun match that isn't against the USL 1 team, and the fans that come to these games deserve to have a fun match because we've seen so few goals in our shiny new stadium this year. So just hope and pray that this is the week.
Do you think they need to do some like retreat tomorrow, like to Dave and Buster's or something to like just bring the vibes back? Like they all seem like they just need to like relax.
It feels shot to me. Like I felt that way for a while now, and it just feels like it's getting more and more cemented with each passing week. We mentioned it in the Discord earlier today, but they had a players only meeting after week 3. like it was that was the big sign, really, and neon lights in after 3 weeks of something is wrong with this team, and it hasn't gotten better since then. So I don't know that a retreat's going to do anything other than maybe make them take their minds off of what is probably a shitty season for both of them too. So
you know who wasn't sad last night? Clay Holstad, just always like the nicest guy to talk to.
He's awesome.
Yeah, the best. But I almost completely forgot to do socials, so I'm going to kick it over
for
that. Yeah, completely forgot. Sorry, everybody. So we'll go to Twitter first here. We have Tyler Hatch here with RIFC in 3. Blow it up. Is good, redacted. Bad chances were there in the 90, but couldn't be finished. Ugly, Hartford is playing for silverware. Tyler, how dare you remind me on my first social here. For Instagram, which I was just on. we have MS Photo season is over. We have Taras with RIFC in 3, worst loss ever. We have Booth Hill Brewing, ay. Good, decent defensive performance, bad. The team cannot score. And even more importantly, they shit themselves during the PKs. Ugly, all of the trash talk about Hartford this year, and Hartford is scoring and in the top 5 and in the cup final. RIFC can't score and they're in the bottom 4. It's inexplicable and precipitous drop from last year. There's no way this team is going to make the playoffs. RIFC can only tip their caps and call Hartford their daddy for the foreseeable future. Oof. This team, what was that?
Why'd you read that one? It's awful.
Yeah. Well, it keeps going. This team is offensively offensive, and to think I just dropped another $1,600 on season tickets again makes me very annoyed when I see guys not even be able to take PKs.
What was the timestamp on that? Was that like at 10 o'clock last night?
Yes, literally.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say it's someone that was very angry to the game.
Yeah, actually, that's a fun thing. We should start looking at that, the timestamps and how it changes. We got Mike Moniz here with RAFC in 3, practice set pieces. We do have Cool Will with good, Koke saves, bad, back-to-back Sacramento wins in the Ocean State, ugly, worst 2025 season for Rhode Island FC. Cool Will, you should be happy. You're a, William, you're a Sacramento fan. And then we got Taras again with there was no good. Bad, we must be allergic to scoring goals, and ugly, what happened in the penalty shootout, even worse than Hartford. There's one more IRC in 3, but I'm going to leave that one for last because it's I can't stop laughing reading it. There is some on Facebook. Man, everything keeps resetting because I pulled all these links up earlier. Pens. All right, so for Facebook, we have Don Lindbergh with didn't want to come to this game. Wife insisted. She slept on the couch. My pretzel was good. Larry Brown had sad to watch, and Clifton Humphrey had time to pull the plug. So head over to the Defiance Discord here. I've seen 3 from Tim McDuff. What the fuck? We got Timmy here with good second half performance, bad first half performance, ugly. Everyone will probably have the same, but that fucking penalty shootout. We got Chris G with good free front row seats with my dad, bad off the post, ugly over our heads. We got Andrew Gomes, RFC in 3, I hate PKs, part 2, no tarps off. Honestly, the saddest part of the night is that the tarps never could pop. We got Frente Guy, good, Koke, bad our offense since March, ugly the rest of the season if we can't get a result Saturday. In 3, piss poor penalties. We got our friend Leo O, good, we took a break from most of the needless back passing. Bad, no matter who has the ball for us in transition, something goes wrong. Not being on the same page, scuffed hit, hesitations, players not making themselves available, simply getting tracked down, etc. Ugly, poorly squandered opportunities all game, leading up to a shockingly poor shootout, even for our track record in shootouts. RFC in 3, crushing cup collapse. We got Natesky here in 3, focus on 8th. Oh, God. It's so depressing, but true. Good. Good atmosphere, bad loss of penalties, ugly chemistry. That's interesting. We got Mike M, RFC in 3. So now what? Good, Koke with another player of the year performance. Bad, another game being shut out. Ugly, RFC being on the brink of a lost season. Bonus 3, playoffs begin Saturday. Absolutely. We got Matt Hand sharing his Riptide report. And if you haven't checked that one out, as well as Timmy's player ratings, TideTalkRI.com. We got Sam D. Good, actually created chances. Bad, couldn't score any of them. Ugly, even in pens. Oh, that's good. Ugly, sorry, IRC in 3. Consult a priest. That one's really good. We got Taras again. IRC in 3. Where to now? I love people who like triple dip on this. It's the best. We got Susan with sending much love. That's probably the most positive and kind one. I like that one, Susan. We got Scott from across the pond. Good, first half was competitive. Bad, Maxie would miss his own funeral. Ugly, still can't score. RFC in 3, questioning my sanity. We got Tyler, who said we should just do 3 uglies at this point, and I gave him the green light. I don't know that he took me up on it. I said, I'm hosting tonight, so go nuts. We got Matt Jean, RFC in 3, have no words. We got Catherine Prevost with big yike energy. We got Andrew H, who gave me a ton, and I'm going to read them all. Number 1, tear it down. 2, start from scratch. 3, can't get worse. 4, ugly, deflating, embarrassing. 5, hard to watch. 6, losing the fans. 7, OMG, WTF, LOL. Sure. We got Pawtucket J here with good. We seem to have gotten more competitive lately, which is a fun one. We talked a bit about performance first results last time. I think the general gist of that was we agree that we are playing a bit better, but unfortunately it's too late for the performance thing. It is now all about results. Bad, too little, too late, ugly, everything. Set pieces, tactics. I can go on. We will never eat Chick-fil-A. The decision making on the pitch, being complacent, thinking someone else will step up. The depression I feel every home game. I'm sure there's more. Oh, that's brutal. Thank you, everyone who chimed in there. And I will go back to the comment I said. It was also Pawtucket J. His RIFC and 3 on Instagram was, please lobotomize me. And I have laughed about that all day after I have read that one. But yes, as always, thank you, everyone, for chiming in. A ton of comments. It is genuinely funny how much more we get when we lose at this point than versus when we win. But we are here either way after every match. But Andrew,
could have gotten his wish if he just stood in the perfect spot in 116 when JJ took his penalty. Like if you just in the right spot, you would have gotten the lobotomy you were looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, a tough one. Obviously a pretty crushing loss. I know a lot of people are really excited about this cup run. But like people said, Saturday kind of starts the playoff run for NFC. It's no longer performances are good enough. It is do or die at this point. And boy, oh boy, I'm nervous. And yes, to Martin in the chat, the boys could use a Dubai break. If Brett Johnson can make that happen, it does seem to do well for others. So as well as Martin saying the stadium does need an exorcism, which I think a lot of people are starting to get on sides for that one. But thank you all for joining. Andrew, any final thoughts?
Let's just score a goal on Saturday. Not winning, just score a goal, and then maybe we can win.
I'm going to be a little greedy. I would like both. I would like a goal at least and a win at least, please. I don't think at least win is like, that's all I can get. But anyways, that'll wrap things up for this one. Just a reminder that Tide Talk is more than just a podcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for daily social media content. Also have to shout out the blog at tidetalkri.com, where you can find player ratings, pre and post match analysis, and our take on the latest RFC news. I've been your host, Ryan, and a big thank you to Andrew and Irvin for joining me tonight. Most importantly, thank you to everyone who joined in live in the chat and anyone who supports the work that we do. We'll see you next time. And as always, up the tide.
Up the Tide.